Motherfucker.
The stream popped around. Hey, what's going on,
Sura.
guys? This is your boy Aries from Aries Game Productions, and I am here with my boy Mondo.
Hello. He's called me Mondo. It's Professor Diehard.
Oh, it's Mondo. Yeah,
Damn
it's
you.
Die Hard. It's been
Damn
so
you.
years if I've been calling you Mondo. It's the transition just
It feels like a
slips
long time,
sometimes.
for real, though.
Jeez. But yeah. If before we get started, make sure to go check out my buddy Dai's streams that he's been on, and go ahead and like his channel as well as mine.
Definitely.
But so just to have a little bit of commentary on some stuff just about Warframe. So this video just talking about some frames that I do have now, since I have a pretty healthy collection of frames, and going over some stuff, of course, from TennoCon, some stuff that we got to talk about that.
Got to talk about? Yeah, it was amazing. I saw a good little bit of it.
Yeah, so we're going in alphabetical order that I have right now, and these are Warframes that I'm basically going to be grading on how I think they play and how I think they can handle most of the game's content, and how they've been working for me, at least. So first off, we have Banshee, and this was a frame that I had just kind of gotten as well today. Been trying her out, and I'm grading them from like S tier to D rank. S tier meaning you actually don't want a Warframe to be an S tier in this game, because that means that the developers are probably going to nerf it to the ground. And so you definitely want a Warframe to be about B or A tier, and definitely not C or D tier. But Banshee, I'm going to put her at around a solid B. She can handle most of the game's content because of her 3 abilities. Silence, it basically just like makes everybody just run out of breath when they get near. Like all the enemies just kind of like look at the ground, because it's like to simulate the Banshee cry or whatever. But her Sonic Boom, her 1 ability, is pretty good if you just want to get somebody the hell off you. And just is really good, like just one single target mainly. Silence is like big crowd control. Like you want to use that if you're just like having a oh shit moment and you can't find your way out of a box to save you. But really good frame that I've enjoyed so far, especially for somebody that I just got. Her design's not too bad either. I like her design with the little shoulder pad thing. So she is a solid B for me. Now I have my only Prime frame that I have, Big Daddy himself, Chroma Prime, aka
Big Daddy himself.
aka Lubu, aka Destroyer of Worlds. But I mean, just if people who are watching the stream, just look at this armor and tell me this isn't just fucking dope.
It's broken.
This is the type of armor that I'm talking about when you talk about primes. Like, the prime Warframes are just so clean looking. Whoever is part of the design team is just fake. If I was rating these Warframes on design alone, this would be S tier. This would be 2000 level IQ S tier design. So, but Chroma Prime.
I was to say IKEA. IKEA design.
IKEA. But Chroma Prime is an A plus. He is an A plus Warframe. I tried him out last week with just running through the planets solo, and I was able to solo all the planets with this Warframe. He's so good. He does have a dog shit ability, which is his 1. It is Spectral Scream. Does damage, continuous damage, and damage over time with like your fire. And the best thing about that move and a lot of his moves is, depending on what your energy color is, will be the color of the flame that he shoots out, and it'll deal that damage, like the elemental damage. So if you have red, he'll deal fire. If you have blue on, he'll deal ice damage. He'll breathe ice. And if you have green on, he'll deal poison. A bunch of like really good useful things. Like that's why he's A+. Like even though that ability is dog shit, like it is still can be useful. Man, his 2 and 3 Elemental Ward and Vex Armor, broken as fuck. Basically, the more hits that you're taking, the stronger you're getting, and it's absolutely just busted. I think he would be S tier if it wasn't for his 1 and his ultimate ability, his effigy, not being too good. It's just not good. Effigy looks cool because like you take off your armor and it becomes like a dragon that will like breathe and basically is really good for defense missions. Outside of that, not really useful at all. It doesn't move. It just stays in one place. So that's the only bad thing about it. But in defense missions, it's really good. So that Chroma Prime, solid A+. Ember is. I heard a lot of people say that she used to be really good. And she is probably for me not really too exciting, considering I heard they nerfed her ultimate World on Fire, which used to be really good, but now apparently she is not very good, and I've kind of noticed that. The only useful ability she has is her 3 ability, which stuns people around her, and is pretty good for that, so I would say she's a solid C+, even, maybe. She could still do really good, but once you start hitting like the areas like Saturn and Uranus and Neptune, she's gonna die very quickly. Like she'll just get roasted, which is odd because she's supposed to be the one that's roasting people. But it is. It's.
But that's just how it works.
And now we have the poster boy of Warframe, Excalibur. Excalibur is an A. I would have put him in a B when I first played the game, just because the only ability he really had going for him was his blind ability, where he just goes up to people and does like a finisher to him. It's pretty slick, but it's but now because of the stuff for the Umbra Excalibur, that is a different Warframe, and the Exalted Blade that goes with that, and you can combine it with a bunch of stuff that you get from Umbra with Exalted Blade. So I have bumped him up to an A. He's solid A. Do not take this Warframe out into any of the open world content. He will die. he just doesn't do much in the open world stuff. Exalted Blade is meant for like the missions where you're kind of in corridors and you can like just clear out tons of people, but in the plains of like Eidolon, for example, what are you gonna hit with Exalted Blade?
What are you trying to do?
What are you? I mean, are you gonna hit the mountains? Oh, okay. You're trying to be Madara Uchiha and try to chop a mountain in half, but
Damn.
like I mean, he's better for, especially for ship missions, like missions where you're on a ship. Oh, he just wrecks. There's no question. But keeping him from that kind of A+ or S tier is just his usefulness in the open world. He's definitely not very useful in open world settings. Now, another frame that I will be especially trying out here on the stream is Frost. This is a Warframe that you see all the time, and there's a reason why I think he's an A. He's a defense mission god because of the snow globe, and the snow globe is godlike. It cannot be touched while you're in snow globe. Especially if like you have a prime weapon or just a really good shotgun or anything like that, it's GG. Like you just kill everything. And Freeze is still really good. His one's really good. Actually, really all his abilities are fantastic. Like he has crowd control. He has a good defensive option. He has a really good offensive option with Freeze. He has Avalanche, where his ultimate, where he just basically topples everything in his path. So he is definitely an A tier, no question about it. He's one of the trademark Warframes in the game. and he, just like Excalibur, he's kind of one of the poster boys now for Warframe, so I'd be shocked if he ever got out of use. He's just that good. Ivara, I don't know if I actually did a stream where I played as her, but she's kind of like the Robin Hood, or the Green Arrow almost of Warframe. Definitely supposed to use a bow with her, which I did when I was leveling her up. But really good abilities. She can switch between what type of arrow she's using, like trick arrows or noise arrows, sleep arrows. Really useful Warframe. Her prowl ability makes her invisible, and you combine that with a bow that doesn't let people know where they are, and you've got yourself a A-tier Warframe. Yeah, she's A-tier. Her 4 Artemis bow, shooting like 5 arrows at once that deal the damage that you have on it with your quiver, is stupid. I cleared out like level 50 enemies with just spamming the Artemis bow. Broken. Just Warframe's broken. And the only reason she's not S tier is because of how hard it is to get her. I had enough platinum to actually buy her from the store, because you can only grind her at events for her parts. So if you have some extra platinum lying around and you want a good Warframe that can carry you through most of the game's content, get this Warframe. She's fantastic Warframe. Now we have the world of Limbo, as in the Warframe Limbo. This Warframe, it's so hard for me to say if he's actually like A tier or just a solid B plus, because I mean, yeah, sure, you can basically just make yourself unkillable. You can dash and no one can kill you. Like, you'll be in the world of Limbo and nothing can hurt you, but you can't hurt anything else in it either. So it's kind of a hit or miss if you know how to use his ability really well. Like, if you're reloading, you know, with a gun, you know your reload time is really big, just dash, hop into Limbo world, and nobody can kill you, and then just hop back out whenever you want to. I would actually, no, I'm going to put him an A-, just because he's so useful on spy missions, because he doesn't set off the alarms when you're in the Limbo world, and it's super cheesy. Like, you can cheese spy missions with him super easy. So most of my spy missions that I have that are harder, I automatically go to Limbo, pick him, go into the world, the invisible world of Limbo, and wreck house, or don't even wreck house, just get in, get out. So I'd say A-. Loki, super popular Warframe, and for good reason. His invisibility is stupid, especially if you have a mod where your invisibility just stays on you for like a minute and a half. You can just slaughter everything and no one will see you. Especially with like a sword mod on you, you'll deal like 10,000 damage, like sneak attack damage. It's stupid. People who like Ashe will probably end up liking Loki, just because Ashe is really good for stealth, but Loki is just like the god of stealth. He's just too good. And in case you ever do get trouble, he has a really good crowd control, radial disarm, where you literally make everybody drop their weapons and they have to fight you with like taijutsu. Pretty much everybody just has become a taijutsu specialist when they fight Loki at that point. So I hope they brought them hands, because they'll probably end up getting killed. And you also have a teleport too, in case you get in trouble. You can just switch teleport with one of the enemies. Super, super nasty. So I would still consider Loki. A lot of people have him as like, I've seen a lot of people put him as like a similar ranking as like a B+ or A-. This Warframe's an A+. You can clear content with him, no problem. My frame that I'm currently leveling up right now to get some of my mastery rank up, Mirage. Very weird Warframe. You get her from doing one of the quests. The hidden message is the quest that you get her parts from. And again, I just kind of got her today as well. And to be honest, I'm not sure what this Warframe is supposed to do. Hall of Mirrors is nice, I guess, because like you do like a shadow clone jutsu where you have like 4 of you out, and they're like mirror images of yourself, and you do have like stuff like for her abilities.
Timberlake Simulator.
Yeah, basically. So you do have like sleight of hand. You can booby trap objects that are near you. You have Eclipse. Basically, if you are a really good ability, is just to combine her other attack, her ultimate prism, which lights everything up, and then do Eclipse, her number 3 ability, and you'll deal a crap ton of damage. So just for that reason, I'd still keep her at a B. I was going to do a C, but just because of her like 2 abilities that she can start dishing out some really big damage, which is just really good. And she is very acrobatic Warframe. Her passive sliding lasts 85% longer, and acrobatic maneuvers are 50% faster. So still really good. And I don't actually think I went over some of the abilities, but we'll go back and do that. We'll just kind of do a quick run through of them after we get through grading everybody. Necros, the Edgelord. Like this is if you want to be an Edgelord, this is the Warframe for you. This Warframe, you are Desecrate. You are Desecrate all day, every day, and it's because it just helps you get more loot, and this is a looter shooter. This is a looting game, and what better frame to have with you than a looting Warframe? It just makes perfect sense. And his abilities are so good. Terrify, make enemies flee before you, and Soul Punch, not really too useful, but you're mainly going to be using 2, 3, and 4, especially Shadows of the Dead. If you're fighting really high-level enemies, it's really good to have those high-level enemies that you just killed spawn as your allies. It's really useful. So, like, if you're fighting, 20 level 30 enemies and you're having trouble, pop this ability and just watch your legions of doom go to town. Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Villainy. This is what this Warframe is. It actually just looks like a boss that you would end up fighting in a mission, like in a quest, and then you would get the parts for him. It just seems like that. And the design of the Warframe too, I kind of look like he has like the skeletal look to him, so that's pretty dope. I do like the design of the Warframe. And we have wow, that's almost like Green Ranger like. I forgot I had on Nisha here, but Nisha is in I would say actually I'll probably say an A+ for him, just because he's a faster Rhino. He basically does a lot what Rhino does, except he's just really mobile. So his abilities, Firewalker, makes him faster, and he gets rid of status ailments when your allies step in his like trail that he leaves while he's running. So super good. He can throw the chakras, like those little chakram stuff on his back. Pretty useful.
Got the Rasengan.
Yeah, he did. That's pretty much the Rasengan. Yeah. And then he's also got the 8 trigrams, 64 palm rotation, the warding halo that he's got. Basically just the Rhino ability, Iron Skin ability. You take no damage to your health or shields while that ability's up. So that's why he's really good. I mean, you basically go into God mode in warding halo, and you can just keep popping it. It costs almost nothing to have it up on you. It'll do it's like 63 energy it costs, and you get that probably in about killing maybe 10 or 20 enemies. You'll get that energy back probably just from drops. So you can just keep popping it over and over again. And then of course Divine the Spears, impales everybody on spears, and you can just sit there and just unload on everything. It sticks them up through the air, and you can play with them essentially. Really fun Warframe. Honestly, one of my favorite Warframes now that I have him. super good. And we got this fucking creep over here, Nidus. Infested Warframe. A+. This Warframe's all about stacking your abilities on top of each other, getting stronger, watching him. He'll actually, it looks like he's evolving as the abilities start stacking, and it's just awesome. He becomes unkillable when his passive. If Nidus is killed with at least 15 stacks of mutation, those stacks are consumed, gets you 5 seconds of invulnerability, and restores your health to 50%. So if you die while you have your stacks on you, you just become an unkillable monster. But you have Larva, like sucks enemies in like a magnet, so you can just like, it does damage to them over time. You get them right there. Parasitic Link costs no energy, and any damage that you take while you're linked just transfers to the other person. So if you just link yourself to a boss and all the enemies start firing at you, just unhook the link and the boss takes all the damage. It's so broken. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you can just keep it on you for forever. And of course, his 4 Ravenous, you spawn like these spores that, you know, bring out like the little underlings, like these little maggots that start eating the enemies alive. Super gross, but super cool ability too. Yeah, A+ Warframe. I would say S tier, but I think that'd be giving him a little too much credit, because he does have a problem with having no shields. He has no shields, and he basically has all health. So if he had shields, he'd be S tier. Nova, A-. I don't really know how to use her very well. I did get her, of course, max rank and everything, but I just don't see why people like her. I mean, I'm sure I'm just not building her right, but I heard from other people that she's really good at just clearing content, and I can kind of see why. Well, like her 4 ability is really good, so that's why she's still at A tier. So if you actually notice, a lot of mine are a lot of my picks have been pretty generous, except for this Warframe. Oh my god, Nyx. I hope they fix this Warframe. I hope they do. She's hot garbage. She is in D tier, as in do not play this Warframe, do not build it, do not spend your resources on this Warframe. You have wasted your life if you are playing this Warframe. Go ahead and start farming for like the Prime version of it. Do not play this Warframe.
Which frame?
Nyx.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, don't play it.
Just don't. All right.
If
don't.
if you have all the parts and you have the blueprint for her, just don't make her. Just
take all that, find a nearest toilet, and just flush it.
Yeah, please. Because now, I mean, the only thing that I think really you could say about her that's is still kind of good. Her 4 is Absorb, where like she'll sit there in like a meditation pose and she just sucks up all the bullets that are coming after her. So if you're like, I mean, if you still have like, you know, 20 enemies surrounding you, if you ever get in a scenario like that, and without being killed, and you can just sit there and absorb, and then just, you know, keep your energy maxed out and blow them back. However, Digital Extremes has actually programmed the AI to be smart in this game, and if they see you start using the absorb, they'll back away, and they'll still keep firing, but they'll retreat. They'll start like slowly backing off because they know you're absorbing the energy. So there's just not really a whole lot to do anything. I mean, I guess Chaos is kind of okay. The only thing that's really saving her is mind control. You pick one target and you get to mind control them. The ability would be better if you can control multiple targets at a time. That would be awesome, because you would basically just be a mind-controlling poor man's Necros, where you could just like control, have the enemies fight each other essentially. So if they do rework her, mind control just needs to be better, because it's just not useful. Yes, and do not play that Warframe. Do not. We do have Oberon next. Oberon is basically just the tank that heals, and he's like the cleric of this game. Kind of like the paladin, you could almost say, of this game. Which is why he is an A-. He is really good. Actually, I'm going to change that. I'll say he's an A. He's just good, solid Warframe. Nothing wrong with this Warframe. He has healing for your allies. He has healing for himself. He has an offensive smite ability. He has his 4 is Reckoning, where he just does tons of damage. Hallowed Ground is really good. Your allies get healed while they're in like this grass area, and enemies just start losing health if they step in it, like massive amounts of health if they just go right in the center of it. So, nothing really much to say about him. He's been useful for a lot of people who do the Plains of Eidolon, like the actual Eidolon hunts. A lot of people like to bring him with them, for good reason. We now have, in my opinion, the only Warframe that I own right now that I consider a full S tier, and that is Rhino. Now, a lot of people just have him as like a regular, like he's like an A or A+, just because he's like just, all of his abilities are still really good. Rhino Charge, Iron Skin, again, basically like Nisha, just putting you into God mode, where nothing hurts
God
you,
mode,
nothing bloats you back. Roar is really good too. You can increase your allies and your own damage. And then of course Rhino Stomp is just crowd control 101. Toss everyone in the air, don't let them do anything, and kill them. The reason why I put him as S tier is because he is the first Warframe that you can farm off of a boss, the first boss that you fight around the star chart. And the Jackal is the first boss that a lot of people really just use and abuse to get his parts. You just get him so early in the game, and he can go through the entire star chart. Like I used Rhino until I was like mastery rank 7 or 8. I only used Rhino. And I mean, this Warframe is just too good. It's kind of stupid how good he is. And they came out with a Prime version of him, so he's even more busted. So all of his abilities are good. You get him really too early in the game, in my opinion. And it's absolute just terrifying to see a Rhino plow through everything. Like, if you put something in front of him, he's gonna stomp that motherfucker into the ground. That's what he's supposed to do, and he does it really good, really well. Now we're kind of approaching the end of it here, but another frame that I've been meaning to kind of talk about. I played her a little bit, I think, on one of my last streams. Valkyr, pretty much the Rock Lee of this game. Her 4 Inner Hysteria. You basically go 8 gates, and you're invulnerable while you're in this form.
That's a Naruto reference, if y'all don't know what that is.
Yeah, but most of this has actually been just Naruto, right? I might just rename this
video.
I've
just been like, hey,
Naruto,
attaboy.
Warframe Naruto the sequel. But it's
Warframe Naruto the sequel. I like it.
It's but I mean, her 4 ability is really what you want to build off of. Ripline is good for like the enemies with the shields that are sometimes really annoying to get around. You just zip line them across over to you. Warcry is pretty good. Paralysis is pretty garbage because you have to get rid of your shields to use it and paralyze everybody around you. So it's not really too good. I guess if you use Paralysis and her 4 ability, where she just enters 8 gates mode, it would be good. But pretty good. And her passive is really good for crowd control. You recover 50% faster from being knocked down. So that's pretty good. If you're just like keep getting knocked down over and over again, you'll eventually get out of it with her. That can be a problem in the late game. Vauban, kind of the Master Chief ass wannabe. I like him, but he's just not that good. In all honesty. I mean, his 1 and his 4 are the only things that are really good on him. Mine Layer and Bastille are kind of good, but just there are Warframes that do his job a lot better right now. They just need to rework him too. I would probably put him at a solid C+. He's good. You could still play him, but there are better Warframes than him. Just plain and simple. And we have our last Warframe that I own currently. Volt, Emperor Palpatine. Literally lightning, unlimited power, Volt. Of course, you know, kind of the abilities that go with him. Shock, his, you know, standard ability. Speed, which is why he is an A-tier Warframe. You can clear missions, especially like exterminate missions pretty quickly with him. Your attack speed goes up with it. Reload speed goes up. All that sort of stuff. Awesome. Electric shield. You can place it down in front of you and you can carry it with you. So you just have like a shield in front of you at all times. Stupid. I don't know who thought of that, given him that ability, because he's already just really good. Combining electric shield, some shock, and speed with it. It's stupid. And then of course his 4 is not terrible. It's alright. It's okay. You just basically let off a huge like Force Unleashed like force wave, which looks pretty cool. But still a really useful Warframe. Yeah, that pretty much does it for most of my kind of overview of some of my stuff, just regarding the Warframe that I have right now. Still enjoying playing all the Warframes, because it's basically just like, it's like an RPG where you get a person who gets a new class, like a new class ability, or just a new class in general. That's what it feels like, and it feels pretty good. Most of the Warframes that I played haven't no two Warframes play exactly the same, like in any type of scenario and any type of mission that I played so far. So that's pretty awesome. And considering that my arsenal actually consists of how many Warframes? Let's see, we have let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 Warframes that I have currently with me. So that's basically pick your poison of 19 frames that you want to play. And there are also people on YouTube who, other people on YouTube who have really good guides about what Warframe, if you like want to play a certain play style, that they kind of have a little bit more, kind of go into depth, because they probably actually do have all the Warframes. I do not. That will take me forever to get all of these Warframes. There's like, I think 30 something of them now. Stupid. But like my boy Die here, who plays Ash, because he likes the doing like the rogue stuff, or like the Shadow Blade stuff. So Ash is also probably B+, A-, somewhere in there. Just because, like I said, Loki I think does his job better than he does, like in the game content overall. But Ash's smokescreen, they reworked it, and now it's just really better. It's just way better. It used to be a garbage ability, but now it's really good. And you get to throw shuriken as Ash, so that's pretty bomb. You just do, you basically, again, enter the world of Naruto, and you basically just go 10-10 on their ass. But now that we kind of got that out of the way, I've been kind of meaning to do that for a little bit, so thank you guys for bearing with me on that. I just wanted to do that for a little bit. But now, let's talk about. Me and Di are gonna go over some stuff we ended up watching. I think I actually might have convinced Di to end up watching TennoCon, or just kind of the highlights of it. But what were your thoughts on TennoCon?
Oh, I thought it was pretty impressive, honestly. It's, you know, the only way I can just start talking about it is if I bring up what another guy said about Battlefront 2. He was defending it, saying, you know, they just can't do all that stuff. You know, just the engine can't handle it. And now I see this game got to come out. Oh, it's already out, but the update got to come out. And just look at what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
just look at all the content that's about to come out, and just look at what they're doing. Adding space combat, adding space exploration, adding all this freaking crap. And they say, you know, they couldn't do it in Battlefront 2. I just think people are just lazy as all get out.
Yeah, like this is. I mean, it's just the Shoals call out. Like this is a. And I'm glad you brought up the Battlefront 2 stuff though, because like really though, like if you think about it, like that's really what people are saying. Like they're like, oh, it'll take them a little while to like, you know, develop the stuff they need to do for it, and you know, a lot of time goes into development stuff. And I was like, really, how much time do you guys think that Battlefront 2 had, the original Battlefront 2, the development time for that? And they still made a better game out of it. They still made it better than Battlefront 1, the original Battlefront 1. They just took what they had and just basically improved on it, and that's what Warframe has really just been doing since its inception. Like, they've been adding content to it. I mean, like, and I was watching the Angry Joe conference coverage for it, and it's just funny. He just kept saying, "Dude, this is free to play," and
this is literally free to play. Yeah.
He was like Anthem who?
Yeah.
And that's just about the only thing.
It blows my mind, just the level we have let games fall. Yeah. Like what we think is a good game, just our standards are shit.
Oh yeah. Like it
and I
really...
would say you and mine, you know, I would say just like, you know, the world standard on video games.
Because we've been spoon-fed the wrong thing. Like we over the years, like with the kind of the games as a service model, the way that we've traditionally kind of been experiencing it is just really bad for for the community. Yeah, it is. It's so wrong, and it's wrong to do to people that, you know, don't have, you know, $1,000 to spend on your season pass, and you know, all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely flat out ridiculous. And then you end up playing Warframe.
And then
you watch TennoCon and you go, I've always wanted a game with space battles. And you go, oh really? How about co-op space battles? And you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Man, I really wish I could be a space ninja and do the co-op space battles. Oh, have you played Warframe? No, let me try it. And like it just, you know, or you know, you want to own your own starship and you know, have like a actual nemesis that you have, like the, you know, like a Star Trek nemesis with space battles.
And if y'all don't know what we're talking about, the nemesis system is so cool because if you kill this nemesis, and it's specific to every Tenno, specific to every frame, you know. If you know, for instance, if you kill this sucker, and like you see him again, he's going to be a little bit stronger. And he's going to have, I think he's going to have a certain power up that you have.
Yes.
So yeah. It's pretty cool, and I think if you kill him with the power up, that's when he gets it.
Yeah, he basically just starts getting he'll it's something, I guess, if I don't know if they weren't very clear on, I guess, if you last hit him with a ability from your Warframe, or if it's just if you hit him with a Warframe ability at all, then he just gets that power. But it's still really neat for those of you who played like the Lord of the Rings, like Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War. You definitely know what the Nemesis system is, because that basically is what that game is. It's Nemesis system, the game, and
yep.
But still, I mean, it was still really fun. I enjoyed the Shadow of War games. I thought they were some of the best games that WB, especially. They haven't been known for putting out too honest content, but well, there was still the DLC thing about Shadow of War, but having your you could buy like people or whatever, they were putting it in a single player game. That's what the big controversy is.
Shadow of Mordor?
Yeah.
Shadow of War? Okay, yeah. I mean, I got Shadow of War and I couldn't even play it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get myself to play it. It just wasn't fun at all. Like, I don't know why. It just, like, there's something about just what it was trying to do. It was like a mix between Assassin's Creed, like not just like it's a mix of Assassin's Creed and then you have a little bit of this Warframe. I don't know. It felt like such a mixed bag that I didn't feel like I really wanted to sink a lot of hours into it.
Yeah. And I mean that's why I ended up trading it back in when I beat it, because I just kind of wanted to see what they were doing this story for. Yeah, I beat it, but still thought it was a good game. But the thing is that, I mean, games as a service, I mean, if you follow like something that Warframe does, the model is there. It's just not EA's model, or it's not Activision's model. It's not Epic Games' model. It's Digital Extreme is. It also just seems like they're very honest when it comes to like their things in their game. Like there was a fan during their Q&A that was like, "Hey, we really like the Ty Regor. It's one of the bosses on Uranus, and he's like one of the only like well-spoken Grineer. Like he's like very proper speaking Grineer." And they're like, "We really like his character. When are we gonna see him?" And they're like, "Well, he's not really prevalent to the story right now, so we probably aren't gonna put him in for just any reason." And I was like, they could have bullshitted that question and been like, "Yeah, sure, he'll show up eventually."
Yeah.
They could have just like flat out been like, "Yeah, we'll bullshit this guy, or we'll just get his hopes up and not have the guy you know, come back or whatever." But overall, I mean, yeah, it's basically just what the actual part of just doing a games as a live service model. Like, if you have something that makes your game worthwhile as a live service, then I don't know, actually do a live service. Don't do a live service and then charge $120 for a portion of the live service that is going to be locked behind everything. You split the player bases. You just do all this sort of stuff that just leaves bad people. This taste in people's mouths. It's just awful.
So I have a question for you. So I just got Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, and I picked up that armor set. Oh, sorry, I'm getting attacked. But you can die real fast. But anyway, so I picked up that armor set, and I picked up the bow that comes with it. I don't know, would you consider that what is games as a service? Like, was that what you would kind of, would you explain like that, where you can buy stuff, or like if you don't, you can buy the extra content that's already in the game?
I think it's like, for me, games as a service would just be like, putting out, for the most part, putting out a game that's like, for me at least, would be probably in-depth stuff, especially like stuff on DLC, like DLC back in the old days of like the PS3 era, where they were trying to go towards the same model. They actually had the DLC on the disc, and they charged you to activate.
Dude, I miss that.
I don't.
I actually, you don't miss that? Oh, dude, I miss that a lot, because Fallout 3, it was it was so much more. It was simpler to be able to get DLC if you just wanted to go in person and grab the disc. And I remember just begging my parents, like, can I please get the Fallout 3 DLC? I think it was Point Lookout and Broken Steel. I can't remember. It was like 2 of them. I can't remember. And I remember because I know it's such a hassle to have been able to do it online back in the day on the 360. At least it was for me. But yeah. So you said you don't miss that?
No, just because I ended up playing a game called Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and
okay.
they locked away. There was a game that I think had about 80 characters in it total, or something like that, and half of them were locked away on the disc.
Oof. Yeah, no, that's unforgivable. I think that if you sell a game that doesn't even have enough content, and then you charge extra that should have already been in the game, that's where my problem is. But for me, for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I have 2 problems. This is completely unrelated. But first problem was I just got a DLC that, like, basically, you earn experience and money fast. Well, just the experience faster. And already the game's a million times better because I'm not, like, just grinding and just getting my ass kicked every 5 seconds. And I also picked up a couple armor sets because the armor sets look pretty cool. But, like, at least at the beginning, like, at base, this game is a $60 game, and the extra stuff is just extra stuff. It's not like, and you can't even say it's pay to win, because if you, technically in a way you could, but like if you buy an armor set or weapons in the game, it is only to your level. It's not, makes you super massively broken. It just scales to your level. So I mean, if you're about to level up, it's already pretty outdated equipment. So I don't know, but sorry, continue on.
Yeah. But I will say, just from the fact that, like, that was kind of my first introduction into games as a service, and that and Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 was probably definitely the first one, because I ended up playing. I actually did play the online for that game. I played the Mass Effect 3 like wave, where you could be like, you have your own guy, like in the Mass Effect universe. You could set him up to be like, it was whether you were Krogan, you could be Asari, or you could be what was
Oh,
Garrus's?
you're talking about Andromeda?
No, this is
online?
Mass Effect
Okay.
3 online.
Oh, you talking about, like, they really didn't have a lot of good modes for multiplayer.
No,
But, like, you could at least choose your race.
Specifically, they could choose your race, but they had one mode. It was defense. Like, you had to basically kill waves and waves of enemy. If it
Well,
sounds
Andromeda
familiar.
had the exact same thing, and you had different cards where you could unlock these different characters and play as them. I thought to myself, you guys are the literal laziest assholes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even program a different game mode or a co-op missions or something, or a co-op campaign. Dude, if you made Andromeda a co-op, oh my god, dude, that'd be amazing.
Oh.
But anywho,
God.
but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's one of those things where the more that I think about it, the more that, mainly, I think just my definition of game service would be, especially like DLC that's locked away behind like a substantial paywall that separates player bases and does it, like the one for Odyssey. I mean, there's nothing about the DLC for it that really just, like, separates a player base. Like, there are missions and stuff that you can do for, like, the DLC that you can download, I guess, if you want, like, the more experience. But it's not really necessarily just going to be like, you need this to play the game. So, that's not what I consider a live service. Live services would be EA's model of, like, Battlefront 2, and like even the new Battlefields are doing it, and they started really doing it with Battlefield 3, and then of course Battlefield 4's disastrous launch Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people remember that launch. That was.
Oh, I remember it.
That was a game changer for as far
You're
as
talking
just,
about Battlefield the vagina.
yeah.
Oh, talking about that disastrous launch, because that was truly disastrous launch.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there is still like, I mean, of course, there was like the controversy about the women being in or whatever, or the people having whatever it was, unrealistic look or something like that. But that's fine. I mean, whatever. It's a game that's, you know, they're doing a fictional rendition of World War II. It's not like it hadn't been done before, and it's, you know, usually keeps that. However, I mean, you have people, or even games like Call of Duty that actually did keep it very realistic when it came to their older World War II games. Like Finest Hour actually did it, where
Oh
you
yeah,
were,
I remember Finest Hour.
yeah. There were like, for instance, there was a girl character that you played there, and she was a Russian sniper.
Finest Hour. Hold on. Was that on PS2?
Yep.
Yeah. It's slowly coming back to me.
Yeah. So I mean, even with that, people are acting like, oh, girls weren't in World War II, and you're like, no, I mean, it's historically accurate.
En contraire, mademoiselle, let's actually look at the facts here.
Yeah. There are plenty of cases, and of course, you know, the French freedom fighters, a lot of those were women, because they would go do stealth missions and retrieve intel and actually, you know, fight in the war, and as part of like against Vichy France and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's still instances where people were, I feel, too big on the games as live service, and I feel like the games as live service has just become so much that I think it is hard to define it anymore. I think it's very difficult to say what's going to be considered a live service. Is it just going to be overpriced DLC? Is it going to just be content cut from the game that you find out later that shouldn't have been cut from the game? Or is it just the overall game presentation, how it launches? All this sort of stuff that kind of plays into the factor of it. And of course, Warframe's games as a service does combine, you know, kind of in some cases, I think honestly think some of the Warframe's prices for their cosmetics are too overpriced. Like for the Sedana stuff, like the little capes and everything, I think those are way too overpriced. Some of those go for like 190 platinum, and it's a cape. You know,
yeah.
Goddamn, like I don't know how I feel about that, and even some members of my clan that I was talking to, my new clan that I joined. And by the way, since I actually haven't done a Warframe video in a while, I actually did join a clan. It's called the Awakening Clan, and if you guys are looking for a pretty cool, pretty chill clan to join, as far as just like getting people to help you like do missions or helping you out with information for the game, and for you to be able to research like new stuff for your Warframe or just some new weapons, you should definitely join a clan. That's how I'm building 2 Warframes. Like, I did not know where these blueprints were, and I went into the clan like TennoLab, which is what it's called for Warframe development, and I just found 2 blueprints and all the parts for 2 Warframes that I probably would have had to grind for hours to actually get. And so clan is very useful. I would definitely, if you're not part of a clan already, go look for a clan, and just, you know, try it out, see how you like it, because it's really, I think it's just really neat. It's just me. I mean, I usually like to, for these type of games, I do like to play with people, which is why a lot of the times now I've been putting my queue on public instead of private, like I was doing solo for a long time. And it makes the game a lot harder too if you go solo for most of the time. You have to have some good weapons to solo most of the game, actually. But with that being said, back to our discussion about I think we got sidetracked a little bit. But about TennoCon. So we obviously
we got massively sidetracked.
So we obviously got to see let's go over some of the quest stuff before we do talk about some of the space battle stuff. So there's obviously going to be a new quest called the New War, which is if you haven't played through some of the quest line about like the Second Dream or the War Within, a lot of those quests, you'll definitely want to play those before you start getting too hyped about the new war, because you probably won't really have any idea about what the new war is talking about, as far as like what it means for your operator and stuff like that. So I feel like if you have been playing the game for years and just haven't done any of the quest line, it's kind of your own damn fault that you haven't enjoyed the game's story. Now, if you're just getting back into it and stuff, definitely gonna understand it. Like, you probably still, whether you're still going through the star chart, trying to get through the star chart, or wanting to get through the star chart, there are a lot of things that you're missing out on. So definitely try to do those first. But there's a new quest that's going to follow up the operator storyline, which I'm pretty excited about, because the only operator, like mainline operator quest that I haven't done is the sacrifice, and apparently that's where you get a new Warframe for free. Actually, there, it's the Excalibur Umbra, and apparently Umbra armor sets are like the top end of what the more enhanced versions of what the Warframes should be. So not primes; they're not to be confused with prime Warframes, but the Umbra, like Excalibur Umbra, plays, I think, a pretty big role in what your history or your past was as an operator, and the Orkin and all that sort of stuff to it. So it's pretty interesting to kind of dive into it. Some of the stuff that I've been pretty fortunate enough to get to play and complete by myself, because a lot of the quest lines and stuff in the game are actually pretty difficult to play with other people on, because I think a lot of them do want you to have that solo experience to experience the quest, but some of these quests are really damn hard, and they need to give you the option to, you know, have a little bit more like queued up availability, definitely. So that's my only problem with the quest right now. But there's that, and we did get our look at Wukong Prime, the new Prime Warframe that's coming out. Wukong is just a really good Warframe. He's going to be my next on the list to build, because my clan also has the blueprints to build him. So that's going to be pretty good. We get to do the Warriors Orochi playthrough of Warframe.
Oh god, that's why, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that sounds like a freaking Samurai Warrior Dynasty Warrior name.
Yep. So that's going to be fun, getting to do that. And because I've been meaning to end up getting my mastery rank up to 10, which I'll be doing here in a minute. Well, not in a minute, but pretty soon. And once that happens, I'll be a happy camper, because I'll be able to get a lot more weapons that I could probably actually still do the game solo and stuff, so that'll be a little bit better if I want to do a solo run for something. But still gonna be fun. So the Prime, and now let's go over some of the space stuff we saw. What did you think about the way that the combat was actually going for when you're actually in space?
I thought it was really, you know, I'm always one to use analogies and stories, but like as a kid, I dreamed of like a game like that where you could board enemy vessels and basically attack them from within, blow up their stuff. And then Battlefront 2 came out, it was awesome. But this game, like, it's taking Battlefront 2 to the next level. You can actually literally blow up the ship from the inside.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can get in, not just you, not only can you invade the enemy ships, they can invade you.
Yes.
Which I thought that was so cool. And, like, it's just, that's why I'm trying to slowly get back into Warframe. I'm trying to get myself to like it. I'm going to do what I can. But, like, I have just no other game out right now except for Sea of Thieves, which is only an Xbox One title, does something like that, where you can, and that's like a pirate game. So it's not even a good analogy, but like what I'm saying, like no other game I have seen does stuff like that. So I was actually really impressed. It makes me excited for sure.
Yeah. Now, I will say, it looks like one of the only drawbacks to doing the space type missions is that you will probably end up having to. It will pretty much be specifically for like people who are in clans. So if you do not, if you're not part of a clan, that's why I would urge people to go ahead and join a clan. Because once this drops, people are going to be farming resources out the yin yang to get the stuff they need for the ship, and I just don't want it to be too grindy either to get to that. I hope it won't be, because if like you're having to farm like 5 Forma and a bunch of other stuff like that, it's going to be really inconvenient for new players to do it. So I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, because Digital Extremes is pretty good about kind of sensing that, I think. If not, it is going to be a problem. So I hope they don't go down that route. Once again, I don't think they will, because they're been consistent about having that kind of stuff not, too monstrous, and so that'll be pretty good. But I guess after you end up doing that for the clan, I mean, it'll be your own ship, which will be good. You don't have to worry about, well, whose ship is it? Is it my clan ship or is it my ship? No, it's your ship. And so that kind of, it's kind of it takes away a little bit of the priority of ownership as far as like whose is what, and because that can get, I could see where somebody could end up getting really pissed off that they spent all that time grinding for those resources, and then someone just says, nope, it's my ship, I have a higher rank than you in the clan. That would be so dumb. That would be infuriating. And, I mean, that would piss anybody off, I think. So, good thing they're doing that. That it's your ship, so that's awesome. Because, like I said, I mean, that would just be a nightmare. The clan economy would just go down the drain so quick. From what I've seen from the combat, yeah, I mean, being able to like go into the ship, fuck around, go back into the ship.
The same other game that does that. No other game I've ever seen has done that. This game's free to play.
Yeah. And they're gonna, it's just, now that they do, it just like opens up the realm of possibilities that you can actually have with a game, and just makes it, it's gonna make it that much more enjoyable. And
I agree.
I actually think it's just a crime now that this game's free to play. Like it's an actual.
I think who hurt you? Why are you holding yourself out like that?
Yeah, it's like it's actually crazy. But
no, I agree.
So since
I completely agree.
But since it's kind of along the lines of that, and it's going toward that that kind of gameplay choice, and that's just one of the best things about Warframe, is that it's continuing to give the player choice, and that is what makes a game marvelous. Anytime you have a game that just gives you a bunch of choice, it's just so good. A good example would be, of course, Force Unleashed.
Don't give me. I missed that game.
Force Unleashed, with the force powers that you have, the way you chose to go about missions. I mean, just choice after choice of how you can approach the mission. What you want to do, how much, you know, chaos you just want to basically just wreak havoc. And so games like that are what I really like. And plus, you know, the gameplay for Warframe's always been top shelf. I don't think anybody would dispute that. If you do, I think you're just being dishonest with yourself and other people. Because, I mean, what game makes you feel like a space ninja and actually lets you move around like a space ninja? Just not too many. And from double jumping, bullet jumping, abilities, weapons, just insane stuff that you can do. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy how much stuff I feel like I'm getting away with murder every time I play. Every time I play this game, it feels like
can I actually play this? Like, is that against the law? Am I illegally downloading something? Or what's going on?
I feel like that's what people did when they downloaded music on Napster back in the day. They're like, can we do this? Is this street legal? But like I think an interesting thing to it too was that it really does seem like squad oriented. Like, it seems like if you go in with just you're not going to have a really good time with it. Like, it's designed to have that in mind with having co-op play. And that's a step in the right direction, because right now some of the in-game content of Warframe does feel like it's too much of solo play, because you get your Warframe, like you have your main Warframe that you're building up, and that may be all you play, that Warframe, and you get him decked out, and then you realize you don't really need a whole bunch of people helping you, and then you're one-shotting level 50 enemies, and so a lot of that stuff I can see how that just kind of feels pretty vacant, you know, as far as like the in-game content or people wanting more content. And so that's pretty good. That's definitely a step in the right direction for just co-op play in a co-op game, because they could have just said, no, fuck you, you know, it'll just be, you can only do this, you can only, you know, use your ship solo, you can't have anybody else in there, and then you can then you have to build a super ship where then you can have all your buddies there. You know, that would be stupid. Luckily they did not do that, so that's awesome that he didn't do that. But again, I mean, it's just back to player choice, and having the choice to have your buddies with you or not. If you want to do a ship run solo, maybe you can still do that. And they stated so. I just hope they maintain that whenever the update comes out. You know, if you do want to do you want to fight that guy one-on-one, your nemesis, then you can take on his ship mano-a-mano and have your crewmates.
I'm just wondering, just imagine the scale okay, I'm always thinking about the sequel, and think about the scale the sequel is going to be, or what's after Warframe.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Disney hired the people from Warframe, told them, they said, hey, you know what, we're going to give you like a few $1 billion. We want you guys just to keep doing what you've been doing. Don't change a damn thing. And no, seriously, like I'm not even messing around right now. Like, you tell them that I want you guys to seriously just do the same thing you've been doing.
Go to town,
Go to town. Just imagine the type of capital ship stuff you could do. Just imagine, take just the Star Wars paint job on Warframe. Just imagine, they've already laid out the groundwork. It's possible. It's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I seriously, like, I don't know what would happen. Like, because I mean, I guess when it comes to like their like vision or their design thing, if it really was just that and they just said, here's a bunch of money, here, have fun with our money, that would be even crazier because I know they don't have, you know, the resources that somebody like Disney or somebody like Activision has. And if they did, Warframe would probably be the best game out in the market. Because it would still be free to play. They would just end up having a bunch of more resources they could spend on doing like crazy stuff. And they would have enough resources also to go in and patch things if things didn't work out. And so, like, I mean, for some instances,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, so for like some things, I'm not a really big fan of the Arcwing. That is, that's kind of one of my only problems with Warframe right now. It's just the Arcwing missions are just a chore. You really...
Like you said Darkwing, I was gonna start singing Darkwing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Darkwing.
But yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
but
yeah, no,
Yeah, so those missions are not really my favorite. So it's just kind of how they're gonna manage Arcwing going forward in the future, because again, I'm not really a big fan of it, and I'm sure once you actually get back into it and start playing it, you'll probably have the same feeling, or you might not. You like the space stuff a little bit more, so you might actually like it.
Oh, dude, I'm a sci-fi nut.
Yeah. So I mean,
I love sci-fi.
You
so
might.
I'm
You
just
might
imagining.
Yeah.
Sorry, you continue on.
It's basically like you're in like an X-wing. You're just like in a personalized X-wing.
Dude, you're just. You're all the Warframe is doing right now is just whispering sweet nothings into my ears, saying,
Yeah.
come here, you dirty slut. You don't deserve this. I'm gonna give it to you anyway." It's like, thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Like
literally,
the girl I'm talking to, you know, when I go to her work, she'll make me some food without the boss knowing about it. See, I don't deserve that shit. But hey, she still gives it anyway. So, you know, but yeah.
But, yeah, ooh, by the way, that is another Warframe maxed out. Booyah! Mirage is now maxed out.
Just maxed it out?
Mirage. So, B tier Warframe out of the way. Now we can focus on our A tier Warframe. That's still not even leveled right now. It's shocking.
Shocking.
Yeah, so the space for the space combat for their new update. The thing that I do like that it looks like it's going to do is it does look like they're going to kind of go ahead and get the minutia of various things out of the way that would probably end up causing you a lot of trouble, like being able to like go back and forth between the ships pretty easy. It looks like they've kind of already figured that out with just like a teleport system, where if you're in the ship, you just find a place to teleport out of the ship, and then you go right back into your Arcwing, and then you go back to your ship, fight off the enemies, get back into your Arcwing, just go back. So it seems like they're just going for like a seamless transition type of thing, which is really good. Whoever thought of that is a genius. So that's really good. And I get other thing that I would say, and I'm sure I don't know if you noticed this, but the ability for you to go into the other ships, not the capital ship, but the other like the cruisers that they have, you can actually pilot those and start firing on the enemy ships too while you are.
Oh yeah. I did see that. Dude's badass.
So you could everybody could start out in the bridge. Like you could role play that. Just imagine you go into the void and all your squad's in the bridge and you're like, all right guys, we're under attack. Like everybody get to your stations, and you have of course you have whether you have the crazy guy like the Falco Lombardi of the crew who's just gonna go out in the Arcwing and start invading the ships and fucking up things on his own. You have like the captain of the ship who's like doing the main damage. He's like firing on the capital ship.
And there's actually a game that like does stuff like that. It's not like Warframe at all. It's called Pulsar, and it's kind of like a Star Trekky. You have someone like managing the engines, the programming, then you have someone driving and someone else doing something else. So I mean, they have games like that, but yeah, Warframe, dude, just it's like so many different games squashed into one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, just stuff like that. I mean, that's just, to me, that's, I mean, and like I said, I mean, they kind of banked on this new mode being the kind of the game changer. And well, I think not only just the game mode itself being a game changer, or just the level itself being a game changer, but the fact that you can call on other people from the planes of Eidolon who are down there, and if they send up the beacon, like if they like there might be like a battle above them overhead.
What?
Like,
You can do that?
yeah. So it's
I
fucking
didn't see that one.
it's fucking Battle of Endor. So they have like the Grenier will have a section on planes, the planes of Eidolon, where they might have the generator that's causing the ship to not lose shields, and so your guys could be in trouble up there, and you can get whoever is your squad with you on the planes of Eidolon and help them out on the ground on the planes and blow up the shield generator, and then it will help them out in the Emporion.
Hey Disney, you listening?
Like
Disney, that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we want, Disney.
Like
They're making it. They're free to play.
Yeah, like it's just so it's so weird to actually just see that, because I mean, it looks like you might have to build the beacons too. Like they probably I don't think they'll cost that much resources. It'll probably be like 100 ferrite, which is pretty easy to come across. You come across that in like every single world, and something else, and you just keep building those beacons, and you just keep going to the planes, putting those down, and getting free XP from helping people out on the ground, and like helping out. You can do it with your clan, like if your clan's in trouble.
I think about aerial bombardment from KOTOR.
Oh yeah.
We shall bombard. Have you played Knights of the Republic? Haven't? No, you have not. Damn it. Basically they just destroy terrorists by blowing up from space. Just shooting it. It's insane. Yeah.
I mean, but I'm just seeing like, yeah, but I'm just seeing all these things that like Digital Extremes is doing, and like it just, as far as that, like they could have just been like, yeah, you're just going into space, but no, they said we give you the option again to have a game mode in the plains of Eidolon where all you gotta do is set down this beacon and see if anybody needs help. It could be somebody from your clan, it could just be a random person that's needing help with a mission, and you can help them out. And that's just like, it goes back into making things more accessible and making things like more community based and more co-op based, and that is just beautiful. It's just a work of art, and it's actually refreshing. It's just refreshing to see it, to actually have that go on.
You just kind of look at what the market has been like here recently.
Yeah.
And just like, it just feels like disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Now just look at where we're going. I don't know. When you have companies, it's like you have CG Project Red that's doing the right stuff, where they're at. Mm-hmm. And now you're having like, I can't remember who made Warframe. Whatever.
Digital Extremes.
Now you have Digital Extreme. I swear, am I having a stroke right now? I can't even speak at all. But you're having everybody just like, they're pulling in their weight and putting in an extra effort and they're working in the right direction to better gaming. And I don't know, man. I just think that we're going into a better direction if we keep letting people like them take the lead,
Yeah, and I think we talked about it on one of our streams. I think we were doing we were doing Divinity, I think, when we were talking about it. But the gaming industry, I mean, just as far as like the past couple of years, the stocks for the gaming industry for big companies have been going down, and the gaming industry has not been doing very well. It's been kind of a slump because of bad business decisions.
Additional life support has
and I was just thinking about the other day. Think about it like this. All they want to do is keep getting as much money as they can out of their consumers, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can only do that for so long when consumers actually wise up and like, you know what? I'm not going to effing waste my money on this crap. Mm-hmm. screw that. And they just go, they take the money somewhere else. I mean, if the gaming companies don't adapt, or if they keep trying to do what they can to squeeze every last cent out of the next gamer, I mean, God, there's going to keep getting, it's going to keep getting worse. I mean, like, you got to think, and dude, there's also, I'm not even watching the news about the trade embargoes and the tax that's going to be on gaming now. Yeah. That where they're talking about it. Dude, there's gonna be if you get the PS5, it's gonna be an extra $100, dude. Yeah. Just man, it's entering it. And you do realize that there was a gaming market crash in the past. You know, the Angry Video Gamer, he covered it in one of his videos, and it actually freaking happened. So I don't know. I don't like talking about it because that literally can't happen, and that's kind of terrifying to think about. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I can even imagine a video game Dark Age right now. It would just be... It would be horrible. Yeah. Just imagine. Just imagine it. Just all the games you want to play, they're not there anymore. Yeah. Just because everyone decided to be stupid. I don't know. How is it? I have one question. How has mobile gaming survived? Yeah, God. Like, if you're talking about cancer, literal cancer that you can see on your phone, how have they survived, but others haven't? I don't know. That reeks BS to me. Oh yeah. Like it just is. Like they're like people. I think people know too that it's just a really bad practice. I still can't get over the Angry Joe, the DC Heroes one. Dude, that was wrong. It was. That was robbery. So wrong. That was straight up robbery. I'm surprised, dude. That's not right. No. The amount of crap that you just were not getting. Yeah. That just makes me... Dude, I love watching some of his old videos because they're so funny. But it's really sad just how much they thought they can get away with stuff. Yeah. And it took people it took people like Angry Joe and like Jim Sterling to kind of... unite everybody together to be like, this is BS. And people, I think people, once they realize it, they're like, no, these guys are right. Like, this is wrong. Like, this is totally wrong. But yeah, I think the planes thing for the ship battles at least. I mean, they went ahead and admitted it. It was like, yeah, this is fucking Star Wars. Like, this is Battle of Endor, like full copied Battle of Endor stuff. And I was like, that's perfectly fucking fine. You can call it whatever you want, baby. Come on. Like, slap me across the cheeks and call me baby. Like, I don't. I do wish for one thing though, and this is gonna sound so just ridiculous, and I know it's going to be. I want to be able to play just a regular human and not be broken. Is that weird to say that out loud? Like, I don't like playing. Maybe that's why I've never really got into Warframe. And maybe that's why I always kind of find myself getting out of Skyrim. And I can't just find myself. That's why I like Oblivion more than freaking Skyrim. Is because you're not supposed to be the most broken piece of crap that ever walked the face of the earth. Because like when you feel broken, it's kind of hard to go above that. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to work your way up to be broken instead of just being broken at the get-go. That's kind of what Warframe is in a way. Yeah, you're just immediately broken. Yeah, and even then on like Warframe, I mean, you're broken for a time until you start getting like across the star chart, and then you realize, oh shit, I think I might actually have to do something about it. Because that's how I felt the entire game so far. I just feel like I'm just constantly broken. Yeah, there are like, and loses its luster after a certain time. Yeah, once you get to, especially if you're running solo on some of like the harder worlds, like the harder parts of the star chart, you don't feel as broken as you once did, which is really good. But the very beginning of the game is pretty easy,
but it's just because they throw a lot of knowledge at you and they go, okay, you're going to need this in about 20 hours into playing the game. And then once you actually do it and you're like, I could have swore they told me about this, but I don't remember shit. And but that's the operator is one area where you are like the human who's not really too broken. So that's actually a good part of the game that that's pretty neat. I forgot when you actually get that quest, but
like you don't get to play as a human.
Yeah, you do once you complete a quest, and then you end up getting your ability to like go out of your body and be a human. Actually, if people here are watching my stream, I'm about to actually do that right here. I'm about to switch to my operator. Here we go. Boom.
Operator.
Yeah, here we go. Yep, I'm my human now.
I've delivered another life support.
But you can't do anything with it. You can't like go fight. You know what I'm saying?
With the operator, yeah, you
can.
can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As a human, you can like you don't have to be broken. You can just fight as a human.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yep.
okay. I take my word back. I mean, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's totally. I'm totally
No, but
okay
like this, for the operator, like it is extremely hard to play. I guess the whole game is the operator because the enemies will like that. I just got my operator just got deleted.
Oh, he's that weak.
Yeah. So like he's strong as far as like, you know, getting like rid of some fodder enemies. If it's a boss, you'll get destroyed as the operator. Like the boss won't even play around with you. He'll one-shot you as the operator.
It's like, ha, that's cute.
But your operator still does have pretty good like abilities and stuff. Like he'll have he has like he can do his stealth mode where nobody can see him. He has like an energy blast. He has like just like a get off me wave move they can do. But also your operator is actually he's immortal. But your so even if your operator dies, you have it'll set a time limit to where you can't play as the operator until the time limit's up. Like it'll be like a 40-second timer where you have to like wait until your operator is available to come back into the fight again. So they do balance it out. Yeah. So you can, you know, try to cheese your way as the operator for most of the game. Then you might end up, you know, getting, you know, one shot by a boss, and then you'll just go right back into your Warframe. And so it's still a pretty good mechanic. Again, the Second Dream and the War Within is the reason why a lot of people were so goo goo gaga over this game, because that's where the game just really changed for the better. You got your operator, you were a human, and you basically could play as the human now. Like you, I mean, it's kind of funny to think that the Warframes are basically just JoJo stands. Like they're like you're a human, but your Warframe is really the one doing all like the fighting and everything. But it's
well, I would love to see a clan that just only plays as the humans.
Plays as the operators. That'd be dope.
I would love that. I mean, that's type of like I would love to do that because I just don't like being broken. And that sounds weird. It sounds stupid. No one probably agrees with that, and that's fine. But for me, I love the idea of not being broken.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like that. And that's how Outward. Maybe that's why I like Outward so much.
Yeah.
It's because like you literally aren't broken at all. Like you start off so weak, and anyone can literally kill you. So you know.
But
yeah.
Yeah. Now getting back into it is just the ability for me to get back into it has been pretty easy. I mean, it hasn't really felt like it's been a chore to get back into it for me, at least. Because if I do want like a customization option, of course my job will let me, you know, now that I actually am able to afford some stuff, like some stuff that I actually want to spend money on. If I do want to spend money on for the game, I can, and it gives me that option still. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice by spending money on this game too much. Like, you know, if you want to customize, you know, your main Warframe out, you want to make them look cool, you can. And they just give you a lot, and the customization options are pretty spectacular. Again, for a free-to-play game, they're pretty spectacular. And of course, I mean, I guess that's their model. Of course, I mean, they still have to make money somewhere, I guess. And so that's
I guess they have to make money, but
so
geez.
it's the best way for them to make money, is just to have keep having those customizable options in the game for your Warframe, and people are going to be like, yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I'll spend $10 to make my Warframe look cool. And that might be the only money they spend on the game.
That's what I did.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably really the only thing that you might want to end up spending anything on. And that's just so... It's just a breath of fresh air. Compared to maybe another game like, you know, what you call it? Anthem, where you're going to be... You're going to be spending a lot more of your money on just shit that you don't need in Anthem. Where you could be a way better Space Ninja in Warframe and still have all of your stuff still saved. And the best thing about it though is that if you log off for a certain amount of time, it doesn't punish you for not playing the game. Like it would be, you know, it could be so easy for them to just say, "Oh, you haven't played the game in a very long time. We've deleted your account for lack of inactivity." You know, just something like that. I hadn't touched this game since 2017, and it kept all of my stuff from 2017. All my progress, the star chart progress, what level my stuff was at, all my stats were at, and for my Warframes, and I mean, that's just, it could be so easy for Digital Extremes to do that. Like, it would just be, it'd be like taking candy from a baby at that point. It really would. And they don't do it. They literally
Would thou like it to take my money?
Yeah. And so just for those reasons, it's like the really cool reason to jump back into it. And I haven't regretted jumping back into it. I just haven't, especially since these new updates are coming. And they're going to make the game look nicer. I don't really think they talked...
Yeah, it already looks a lot better.
Yeah. I don't really think they gave a lot of credit on that. Like, they developed their own new engine for it. And now we'll have to see whether that engine can handle the online like it has been, because the online for Warframe is fantastic. The servers are always up, they're always functional, somehow. They're always running, and I don't know how they do it, with the small staff as they probably have. And, but that in itself is just really cool. And, but yeah, I mean, they developed, the new engine looks superb, and you're gonna, especially on like a bigger TV. Like, if you're playing Warframe on like a 60-inch TV and everything, I'm sure the game's gonna look just absolutely breathtaking. But my real question is, once the PS5 and the new Xbox
what's gonna happen?
Yeah, what will happen? Like, I don't... What would end up being really neat is if they ended up carrying over the data that they have from Warframe and just increasing the graphic nodules and stuff like that to make it look like new gen, and still have all of your data saved on your Warframe account and everything like that. That would be godlike. That would actually be next tier.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess, dang, dude, I don't know. I don't know what the next generation... It's kind of daunting thinking about the next generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think. I don't... How much more broken can games get?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, already, like, you know, I'm playing Odyssey, and I mean, I kind of wish I had a PS4 Pro, because maybe it would look a lot better, but then again, it's okay. But, like, I just have a PS4, and some of these games look freaking amazing. Just, where are we going? You know?
Where are we going?
I actually, on another note, I been playing Odyssey, obviously, and I completely respect my character from when I first played. I made him a complete warrior build at the very beginning when I first played, and now I've turned him into a assassin slash hunter who uses, you know, arrows. Oh, hello, that's a civilian attacking with a broom. Don't do that. And I don't know, I was able to change my character completely, and the game gave me the choice to do it. It's all about the player choice. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just absolutely. I feel like it's just so nice. Like everything about this game has just been so nice. Especially me being able to get some of the crafting stuff for Warframes that even if I don't want them, I can still like have the ability to like you know, try out the Warframes that I may not have liked originally. I didn't think I was gonna like Nisha. I was like, man, what the fuck is this Warframe? I was just like, he's a poor man's Rhino. And then I realized how fucking wrong I was, and he's now one of my favorite Warframes to do missions with. The character I'm trying out right now, Frost, I can already tell I'm gonna like this motherfucker. And even though it took me a while to grind this guy's parts, Jesus,
Even though Jesus, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it took a little bit to grind his parts, I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, that's just that's one of my problems with Warframe right now, is the drop rates for some of the Warframe parts are ridiculous. Sometimes you can go 3 runs straight through and you can get the parts and then go ahead and craft it. Sometimes things do not end up working that way, and it sucks when it doesn't work that way. It really does, honestly. Like, sometimes it just blows. But the other times, like for I got the parts for Nyx pretty quickly, because I think the developers know she's a trash frame right now. But I mean, Frost is really good, and it did take me a little bit to get him, but now that I have him, it's freaking awesome. Oh my god, wow, he's actually broken, okay, yep, A tier. Yep, this is what this Warframe does. For people who are watching my stream, this Warframe stands in one spot and you shoot everything.
So it's just a ranged Warframe, is that what you're saying?
Not even that, like he's supposed to be up close, but if you have a good enough weapon like mine, you can sit in this little snow globe and just shoot shit all day. It's a shooting gallery. Not to belittle the shooting gallery master. Meza, I think is her name. She's like an actual gunslinger Warframe.
Prepare for life support.
From what I understand, she's very difficult to farm too. I'm probably gonna try to spend a little bit of time to try to see if I can actually grind her parts. If not, that might be a I've still got some birthday money left over, so I might try to use that on that. Yeah, this Warframe's broken. Oh my god.
Delivered another life support capsule.
This Warframe was unranked when I went in this mission, and he is at level 10. Because I just sat here and just putting everybody to sleep. I'm actually about to exit out of this mission though, but this is just, oh, this is absurd.
Are you breaking the game again?
Yeah, I've actually broken it right now. This is, I've actually done all of the breaking.
Well, at least you're honest about it, man.
Yeah, literally, all my teammates left me, and I'm just chilling like a villain.
Get ready for a capsule.
Like, this is broken. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just invulnerable. Like, literally just invulnerable right now, and I'm just getting free experience from watching the peons try to approach me.
I could not do this without you.
Strength to the grenadier. Get that! Oh, get that
What do you
shit.
think the next Assassin's Creed is going to be?
I hope it's Japan.
I really hope it's Japan. I'm really hoping for Japan.
Now available.
Like as maybe if it was like Japan during the during like
Sengoku era?
Oh, the Sengoku era would be busted.
I could even see him doing it during the shoot, Rurouni Kenshin for the period he was in.
Oh yeah, the Meiji, yeah.
The Meiji era.
Yeah.
I think I could see it being that era. But then again, I think people would like it in the Sengoku era, and you kind of make your own clan that's been unheard of. Or if you're going to do ninjas, you're going to have to do the Hattori. That's just, it's the most well known, I feel like, ninjas, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like your master is Hanzo Hattori, so like you're I don't know. I could see it, or the Iga Ninja, or something like that. And you have a choice. You can, crap, I missed. But yeah, I don't know.
That would be dope. Like just a Sengoku era one would probably. I would actually pick that up in a heartbeat.
Because like most samurai, most clans, they had like their own like ninja.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got the Takeda, and then they had their little. Everyone always had like a ninja of some sort.
Yeah.
It was part of it. I don't know. It's something to think about. Ooh. Dang, I'm so tired.
Life support activated.
Alright, I think we've played around with Frost long enough, and we're gonna go to Extraction. By the way, since I'm pretty much doing a grinding thing for my Warframes here, the best thing that I found to do like a very low level grinding for Warframe, like just new Warframes, is definitely a place called Ceres. It's like a moon, and basically it's just a bunch of level 12 and 17 enemies that are here, and basically you just want to run through them as quickly as you possibly can, and just stay as long as you can. If you have a Warframe like mine that was at level 0 and you have a good enough weapon like I do, you can run train on just about everybody here.
I like trains.
Like I'm toying with like level 35 enemies, like just playing with them. We ain't sticking around for those little 50 enemies though. We ain't fucking with those guys. Not yet, at least. Once I do get to Mastery rank 10, there is a weapon that I'm gonna end up building. I actually might make one for you, Dai, if I have the resources for it. And once you
Another job well executed.
once you get that weapon, it's game over. Wow, holy moly. Jesus, that's nuts. Wow. Frost, our Frost was unranked when we win that mission. He is now ranked 17. And so if you're looking to get your Warframes leveled up, just do what I'm doing right now. And you also get a bunch of credits for that mission too. Credits are starting to become more important currency in Warframe. They used to not be too important. You used to not be able to grind them pretty good, but now you can, and it's absolutely just stupid.
How stupid is it?
Oh, dumb. It's dumb. But
it's stupid.
Yeah, but I think I'll go ahead and start the stream right here. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. Yeah, I just wanted to go over some stuff that they had at TennoCon. Go over some of my thoughts on the Warframes that I actually do have, and I'll probably do an updated one. Kind of go over that once the new update drops, because I think they're going to have some reworks in for the updates too, for Warframes. I want to say Ash might be getting one to make him a little bit more manageable as a Warframe. That would be pretty dope. But if they do that,
I do like Ash.
So I know they're gonna do one hopefully for Nyx to make her not garbage. Because I do want to try that Warframe. I do want to see that Warframe do well. She's like one of the easier Warframes to grind for and play as, and I just don't feel like she's got a full potential yet. As compared to like Chroma Prime, where you could solo the damn star charts with them. But with that being said, again, check out my boy Professor Diehard, his YouTube channel. He's always putting out some stuff lately on that Outward, and I've been watching.
Yeah, I
some
haven't
of
been
that.
putting as much on it here recently. I may actually start putting some Assassin's Creed on here. I don't know.
Ooh.
But I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break. I'm honestly kind of waiting till more content drops for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of beat the main storyline already, but when next time me and my brother plays, I think I'll stream it with him because we're going to do a different storyline. Because there's like 3 of them you can do. But yeah, definitely check my channel out. But seriously, subscribe to this guy. So yeah.
Yep. Alright guys, well I'll see you flip down next time. As always, feel free to join the Ares Nation and join the fight. Especially if you guys are playing Warframe, hit your boy up. Like I said, I am encroaching on the Mastery Rank 10, and looks like I actually have, if I level up, probably about 2 more Warframes, and which should be here pretty soon, and maybe like a weapon or 2, I should be able to get that Mastery Rank up there, so we should be rolling pretty nice after that. But hope you guys enjoy the stream. Check out my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.